Well then, I reckon what we'll do is we'll get the intro started here. If we still need a second for Fluffy to come back, that's fine because we'll do the in character like the catch up reviews, and we'll start with the company half of Chroma Company. Let's go with.
I'm here. I'm just not on video yet.
Okay, all right, no problem. Pop in when you'd like. We'll do the catch up here. Mordecai, what's happening? Start us off this week with your thoughts, your observations, a list of fears, your daily schedule, stuff like that.
Oh man, just whoa. Well, started off the day relatively normal for prisoners of the Shadowhar Empire. Then a sandstorm hit, and it turns out it was full of rock bees.
Yes.
That nearly felled all of us. If it wasn't for the fact that Selter, being the badass black dragon that she is,
honey, you know it.
made us take flight. So we're currently on the most busted airship that ever existed in the entire world. And somehow she's making it fly. I have no idea. I am trying my best with all the knowledge that I have with tinkering and my mending spell to just fix the things that need fixed, because good lord.
Yes, you're gonna have your work set out for you, and
yes.
This could be the session where you're gonna earn those stripes.
Yeah. If I was a fledgling tinkerer before, I will graduate into a journeyman now. Because this thing is held together by duct tape and bubble gum.
Yep. Hopes, dreams. Whoa, you're living on a prayer, and you're not even halfway there. Like you're just, maybe a mile away from where you started, kind of a thing. So
exactly.
We'll see where that goes. Then let's head over to Selene. Selene, you're probably not playing engineer aboard the ship, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not playing engineer. I'm playing navigator. Playing navigator because unfortunately, as Silter is a good pilot, but it's probably better to just let her focus on the piloting of this ship that's slowly falling apart instead of having to focus on, where we're actually going. So that's kind of my job at the moment. I'm the navigator, I'm the science officer, I'm also the nurse.
You are wearing several caps right now.
Several caps.
Nurse for two of you, except for me.
Yeah, wearing several caps. When I find that golden dragon, I'm gonna strangle him. Like, I'm going to put my hands around his neck and I'm going to squeeze.
Yep, with that strength 9.
8.
It's like Mr. Burns, right?
No. Mr. Burns is like strength 6.
All right. Anything else then? Pardon me.
No, other than that, I'm good. I'm okay.
Very well then. I guess we're going over to Captain and First Mate.
Oh, you see, darlings, this is how you address me when I'm here behind the wheel. How wonderful. See, humans can be taught.
How to train a human. Oh, I see where this is going.
All right, Toothless.
What was that, Fangs?
You seem to have been on a bit of a euphoric high, despite kind of growling at one of the engines that's been kind of sputtering and not doing too well.
It's doing fine. You will stay put. It's doing fine.
Now, you ever see the ship fly out of spite before?
You are now.
That may be one of the
on it-
secret ingredients holding it together.
Out of character, I honestly thought we were just screwed. We're screwed. We're screwed. This ain't gonna work. In character, honey, there was never any doubt. I said that I wanted the ship, and I said I'd take it, and here we are.
That's right.
Now,
you
I
own
never
that.
said what condition, and it doesn't really much matter to me so long as it's mine. Now, we going flying, and that's good enough for me. Now, that being said, I am a little bit bereaved. I'm filled with a form of regret as I have not managed to end up getting my hands on Commander Weary. As I really did want to give her a nice kiss goodbye. But the road's not traveled, am I right?
Well, I think you still came out ahead, and we'll see where the road takes you. I mean, hopefully you're going to cross paths with a particular golden dragon that you'd like to see. I know, Selter, and I know Selene would back you up on that too.
Oh, most certainly, darling. And once I
Punch his
do so.
face.
Oh, honey, stop threatening him with a good time. Now, that being said, I have a ship in command. And we need to rechristen this, as it seems to have taken on a life of its own. I think I shall refer to the ship from this point on and christen her the Maw.
The Maw.
Yeah.
Fitting.
And that's as in like open gaping dragon mouth and not like a loving caretaker.
Little bit of column A, little bit of column B.
It's a loving caretaker who also kills you.
I.e. Selter.
The mama, yes.
Maw's Maw.
All right, let's head across the sea to our two urban adventurers now. We have our three wilderness kind of scraping by explorer survivors, and now we're going into an urban fantasy landscape with Norallie and Bright. Norallie, what's going on? This is this is kind of centered on you here. You got a lot of stuff happening in Mascahorns.
Well, so as I feared, we got back to Mascahorns, and my brother was gone. I knew this would happen. I wanted to leave. It'll take so long. So we got into town, and we passed by some people we knew. The guy who cheats us cards and broken home, some other. And we got back to the tiny hut. And luckily Mr. Halver was home. He wasn't home. I didn't know usually. So we got in and to my room, and kind of dusty. I would have thought Mr. Halver would have dusted it, but now I have to go clean my room, and that's not fun. And Mr. Halver turns out to be this person named Delis that Bright was looking for, which is very convenient if you think about it.
Yeah, Mr. Halver seems to have been moonlighting as a mage named Delis of the Blue Flame.
Yeah, which it's convenient because we were looking for like 3 people, but now we found 2 of them in one, and now we still need to find Loki.
Well, yeah, from what I recall, he's out on the sea somewhere. I think they got a boat and headed out on the water.
Yeah, they got a boat. And now we're going to have to go buy tickets because you can't have a donkey on a boat without tickets.
Yeah.
And
the adult world is dumb.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Just put my donkey on the boat. And I guess my brother's doing some bad thing. I mean, he does things that aren't that good, isn't it? But he's doing things he shouldn't do, and he knows he shouldn't do it because he told me not to do it. And why would you do something that you tell someone else not to do?
Yeah, right?
Like who does drugs anyways?
Kai,
Mordecai.
All
Well,
going blind.
One
You're all
Sprite.
You're all gonna need seeing eye dogs. And Fenry can only be out for like 1 day every week, so he's not gonna be able to help. Huh.
All right.
So
Anything else
that's
then, Norallie?
No. I go clean my room now.
All right. Well,
Because Bright's
we'll hurry up
there.
and tidy up here because after Bright's done, then we're gonna have to. I'll make sure to knock, but we'll have to enter your room and see what's going on. So
Don't
Bright
worry,
with
I'll
that.
clean by then. Shove everything under the bed.
Yeah, just. That's why bed skirts were invented. All right, so Bright, what's happening with you?
So I'm kind of having some mixed feelings because I came a really long way to meet with Dallas of the Blue Flame, and I finally got to meet him. So, I mean, I should be really happy because that's why I came to Mesomeska, but I'm not. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be happier when he comes back because he he gave us a nice meal, or at least he thought it was a nice meal. And then he disappeared, so I haven't really had a chance to talk to him, and so I guess it's just there's a it's like if you go up a really tall tree to slide down like with a slide, and it's really fun, and then you slide down like 1 foot.
Yeah.
It's like that. So I guess I'm just gonna have to wait for him to come back. But there's lots of stuff we could do in Mask of Horns. Because
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
we still need to find Loki, find out where he went, and I'm really worried about vampires because there've been more and more vampires the farther west we've gone, and I'm just worried that like the whole city is gonna be vampires. I don't really know. I just want to go out. Maybe we can take Herbert, and see if there's vampires. Yes, just kind of have to wait for him to get back. But he left a pretty nice. I mean, he calls it a hut, but I think it's actually a magnificent mansion, or maybe even something different from that because it has a lot of rooms and a lot of interesting things in it. So we might find fun things to do in the
It's not
house too.
always in rooms, trust me. Half of them lead to the same room.
Well, I mean, that just makes it easier to keep track of where you are because, like, if you guess wrong, your chances are still better of going to where you need to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all. I guess we'll just have to keep on keeping on, but we have lots of things to do, so.
Yep. All right. Then we shall do so. And in fact, we are going to begin this week's session with the Chroma part of Chroma Company. And we will take you to Helver's library, or rather kind of a representation of the inside of the estate, the mansion, or what have you here. Now, there's, with Mr. Halver / Dallas of the Blue Flame gone, you are in a magical hidey hole, and presumably you're safe. And so, really, this is going to be a downtime style activity where, you know, you have things that you want to advance personally for your characters, and obviously you're keeping, you know, eyes or ears or some other, you know, sixth sense open for contact with the company part of Chroma Company. We have a fickle god partially manifesting. 12-sided guy, thank you very much. Let me know how you would like to put your thumb on the scales of fate. So you have at least several days, according to Norallie's approximation of his Dallas / Halver's words versus, you know, numbers and what that translates to. And so I would like to open up, if you two want to sit down and have a plan, or if you already know what you're going to do, then each of you can tell me what you'd like to pursue, and we can advance some time, maybe do a little RP, maybe some skill checks in a downtime style activity, and we'll see what fruit is born from your interactions here.
So, Norallie, so do you know, I guess I'm a little confused as to what the status of your brother is? Is he
He's doing drugs.
so he's doing drugs. Should we go look for him? Should we try to find him?
We need. Well, Mr. Halver said he got on a boat, but maybe he was planning to get on a boat and didn't get on yet.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very likely. Do we know where he went? Like where he sailed to?
No, we don't. We might have to go talk to some of his acquaintances.
Yeah, I would be. So that's an interesting question because he had a bunch of people with him when we met him on the road.
Yeah.
Do we know? Did they go with him, or are they still around? Because
I don't know. I haven't met those people, and I don't know like all of his acquaintances, but I know some of them.
well, I mean, if we could find out where he went, we might be able to go after him. I don't.
Yeah, they can.
I'd be sad if we had to go after him before Mr. Dallas Halver comes back, because I really want to talk to him. But I also really want you to find your brother. So maybe we can go where he went, because maybe he just like sailed around to Northport or something, and that wouldn't be too far. But also maybe he went to maybe he went to the Shadowhar Empire or something. That would be really bad.
That's
I don't want
far.
him.
Why would he go
Ooh.
there? There's no reason there.
I don't know. But, I mean, they have ships coming here, so maybe he got on one of those and went back with them. I don't know. It's just a possibility.
Hopefully he went to like Old Port or something, and it wouldn't be that far to walk.
Yeah.
Or maybe he got on a boat and then realized he wasn't supposed to be on the boat and came back.
I don't think boats work that way.
Yeah, can't really make them.
Well, anyway, so
kind of dumb. You should be able to turn a boat whenever.
I mean, I'm sure you could turn the boat around, but the other people on the boat might disagree. Unless, like, everybody on the whole boat suddenly decided at once they didn't want to go to where they were going. I wonder if that's ever happened.
That could happen. Like maybe they all realized they forgot their love.
So there's a really powerful spell that you can use that you can you know how sometimes I'll sometimes give a little tug right on the tippy tip of somebody's mind and make them change their mind from what they were going to do. So there's a really powerful spell where you can do that to a whole bunch of people at once, and you could go onto a boat and just like cast that spell and make everybody suddenly realize they don't want to be on the boat anymore, and then they turn the boat around and come back.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't either. I mean, it's a really hard spell, and
Loki's pretty
they
good
didn't
at
even
getting
teach it
people
in magic school. But maybe I'll learn it someday. I don't know.
Loki's pretty
Okay.
good at getting people to do what he wants anyways. But, that's without magic. If he had that, he'd be really good at it.
So why don't we go on and look for your brother's friends then?
Yeah, let's do that.
While we're out, we can look for vampires. So be sure to bring Herbert with us. And I cast my spell so that Herbert shouldn't be grouchy at me anymore.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So is that working? By the way, can we test out
Herbert next to?
Yeah, can we test out
not like
Herbert?
too close, but close enough for the
it-
radius.
It does seem that this mystical aura does protect Bright from Herbert's senses.
Good boy.
That's good news. I'm happy about that. Okay, so why don't we go out? We'll bring Herbert with us. I don't know if we want to bring Brayson with us. I mean, how safe? I mean, this is kind of not a very super safe area, I think. But at the same time, I think people probably know Mr. Halverdellis, man, and they probably don't want to screw with him too much because he's pretty powerful. So I don't know if it's safe to leave Brayson behind or what.
He should be all right. Maybe
We should-
could hide. Maybe I'll take a blanket out and cover the hole of it.
And we should bring all of our stuff in from him as well, because we have rooms in here now. And so have I learned to find my way in and out?
It's at least since last session we haven't advanced too much time yet, as I wanted to find out what you were wanting to do. So
My room is somewhat clean now.
it's that's right. I completely. All right, Norallie, we're gonna start. So I mean, we can incorporate this in. Norallie is confident in her strutting about the mansion. So at this exact point in time, Bright, you probably don't know where you're at, but Norallie seems to, and you're a smart enough cookie. You could probably pick it up along the way.
Hey, but not too smart, and also not too much of a cookie, or Norallie might eat me.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I gotta watch my words.
Also, contrary to what Selter says, I'm not food.
Debatable.
Okay.
Yeah, we can leave Brayson though, and we'll just leave Mordecai inside.
Okay.
That way she can open the door.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how the door works here. Hopefully we can get back in. You know how to do that?
Yeah, you just knock, and if someone's inside, they can open.
And all that, but I don't know if will people be here.
No, just Mordecai.
Well, I know a special knock, so if we can't get in, we can maybe still get in. Depends on how serious he is about keeping other wizards out. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so the both of you are unified in the goal to try and find information about Lokiadius, who's Norallie's brother. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course, I mean, you have Herbert, so if there's vampires around, you could probably, just sniff them out, and then over the course of time, as you are going out to, put your boots to the street and listen to folks and hear what they have to say. There's some ambient things that are going on here. So for this first goal, I think what we can do is treat this almost like carousing. Now, Norallie, because this is your turf. There's not necessarily going to be a heavy, if at all, gold piece cost that's going to be associated with this kind of downtime activity. Because you know a couple people already in the neighborhood who might be able to lead you in a direction. Now, if you do want to grease some palms, there are many people who that are probably a little down on their luck and would probably just pep up and be extra vigorous in their information letting if you were to put a little shine in their palm. So that is an option, and if you do decide to help people out in that regard, then that will presumably, but not guaranteed, lead you in a better direction and more quickly. So tell me how you would like to pursue this, and again, presuming that there's not going to be, I don't know, someone waiting outside to ambush you, or like a monster rises up out of the sea and attacks the city, or just things like that. That we can always presume that could happen. Hopefully
not. That happened.
But presuming nothing untowards happens to you or Bright, there's a couple people who would be, I guess not necessarily intimate friends, but folks you've seen around and probably know you. However, if you want to go and try and gather more information, or at least get more people turned on to keeping eyes and ears open, you have a couple tiers of people. If you wanted to, we'll go with some basic carousing rules. And if any of you are playing at home, that this is in Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and it's a way to expand on what's in the Dungeon Master's Guide. You have, I can certainly give you a free lower class carousing. You can hobnob with the not snobs, and you can plumb that information. Of course, they don't have as many resources as people who would actually own businesses or ships, as you know, if we go into like a middle income or a higher income. But the middle and higher are going to require payment or service or trade or something, probably to come off of their information or assets. So I would like you to tell me how you want to interface. Are you gonna see your friends in low places, or do you want to go out and do any of this?
I'd probably start with the friends in the. At least as a start.
We might also consider the people who have ships, because if he got on a ship, they might know where he went. Special information about the ship, like if it's actually like a secret Shadowheart ship, or maybe it's a smuggling ship or a pirate ship, we don't really know. So they might.
Or, just where it's.
Okay. Now, Norallie, how do you... I should ask this as well. How do you wish to present yourself to people? Are you Norallie, the lovable little scamp from this district in Mask of Horns? Or are you going to be dressing up as you have inherited, hopefully not through mortality, several costumes through Mordecai?
I'd probably be lovable little Norallie.
Okay. All right, so Norallie Kilmus, the lovable little scamp of your part of town. Okay, that's fine. With the two of you working towards this goal, Norallie, I mean, you're going to the places you're familiar, and Bright, I mean, you're a savvy person who has abilities of disguise and just a good demeanor here. Norallie, let's see. You can make an let's see. A persuasion.
Yes.
You can make persuasion at advantage as you are spending oh, look at that. There's a 22. Ah, heck, you didn't even need advantage.
I'm so cute. It gives me a buzz.
All right, so with that kind of a result, you have reaffirmed after you've been away, or rather you've befriended after several days of tracking people down or hearing, oh yeah, you should talk to this person because he hangs out by the piers, and he doesn't really do much else with his days, but he does watch the ships come in and out. So over the course of some time, several days here, you have 3 allied contacts that you have made that are in the lower classes here in Mask of Horns, and you can what you can do with these, we can treat this almost like a resource that you can use in some fashion, where if you want to use one of your contacts and kind of expend it, not that they become hostile to you, but you're calling in the favor or goodwill that you've curried with these people who are going to go out of their way for little old Norallie here, as they've they're like, oh, it's been a while, or they've kind of tussled your hair and whatnot. So you'll have 3 instances where you can call in a favor among goods or services or information from a lower class personage of some manifestation. I'll leave that broadly to you. You can pitch it to me, like, would I know someone who does this? And we'll tackle that as you get ideas. Now, okay. Bright, you're going along, and you two are kind of combining things here. You're not so much necessarily trying to convince people as you're being more observant, but not necessarily with your eyeballs, but with your brain lobes. So yes. You can make a well, let's see. Are you hoping to go to a different crowd, or are you following Norallie, and so you're trying to piece things together that you've seen or that you've watched with her interactions?
Well, I mean, it depends I mean, for the first couple of days, I'm just going to follow her around because I want to get the lay of the city and just kind of see how the culture works here because I'm foreign and new.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I would rather. I mean, once I have a little bit of an understanding of what's going on and you know, depending on what happens, of course, with Norallie, I think it might be better if we split up at least some of the time because she's got some of her friends and they might not trust me as much or whatever. It might be harder for her to work her magic. So, and I have other things I would like to do anyway because I would be more likely to go and talk to the middle class people. I talked about like maybe finding a ship captain or a ship first mate or somebody who guess I don't know, maybe somebody in a guild. I mean, I do have my guild introduction letter
that's
still.
True. You are a calligrapher.
Part of the guild and just maybe I can make some social contacts here because finding Loki's important because I promised Norallie that I would do it, but it isn't really why I came here. I'm more worried about finding out how much the vampires have infiltrated, and also I might need to economic base of my own and make as many new friends as I can because I mean I don't know what happened to Selene or Mordecai, and they're probably dead. And I think once Norallie finds her brother, she might go off on her own, and it'll just be me again. And I'm worried about what'll happen to. What'll happen to me and to what knows because the things aren't going very well, and I feel like I need to be ready to protect as many of the gnomes as I can from whatever's ready to come. So I need to kind of make some social contacts and establish a little bit of a foothold here in the city. And this is a great place because there's people coming in and out from all different countries, lots of different languages. It's pretty cosmopolitan, and I think it's a good place maybe if I have to set up a little shop. And that could be not just calligraphy, although that's fun, but also doing some magic.
Okay.
Because I know enough magic that I think I could hire myself out as just a wizard to do things for people.
Then first steps in this initial startup time, because I'm being kind of fungible. Food isn't necessarily going to be a concern because you have fridge privileges at Helver's hut, or whatever you'd like to call it.
Prefer to call it his magnificent mansion.
You can make as you're trying to get a lay of the land first, and you're also watching Herbert for reactions. You're trying to understand things. If you would like to make an investigation at advantage here, because you have Norallie to help you out as she does. She has some city secrets, and she can kind of help guide your fingers to the pulse of the city.
Investigation or maybe an insight? I'm not sure.
Investigation. Well, if you go investigation, that would give you more of the hard facts, putting timetables together, more logical thinking. I guess insight might be feeling out the mood of the city, or what are people feeling, and so it's more of a. It could give you information. It just wouldn't be like learning the layout of the city, because that's more of a brain activity than I feel what's happening. Does that make sense?
It does. Okay. An investigation.
Hey,
20.
There we go.
21. Sorry, I don't see as well as I used to.
Well, it's 23 since you have advantage on this.
Oh, I didn't know I had advantage. Okay.
All right. Now, what I do need you to do is also roll a percentile with this, please.
Okay. 45.
Excellent. So, where Norallie is a bit of a known figure, and she was, very comfortable in this initial foray out into the city, there was a chance that maybe something untowards could happen to a little lost gnome in a big, wide city here. After all, if this is the movie Gnome Alone, then two bumbling thieves would probably be after you. And
seen the movie Gnome Alone? Probably a movie called Gnome Alone.
Uh,
It's not about bumbling thieves.
oh.
It's different.
Um, so in this initial foray, then, Bright, you are. We can say for now future activities, you do have an idea of the city, of the layout. You kind of know where things are, and you have, and for things that are relevant to you, like one or two details here. I'll say it's not necessarily that you have to have 3 contacts. They can be contacts if you want them to be people, or rather, if you wanted to make a particular note about a place that you might be able to use as sort of like a backup hidey hole, or sort of treating it like one-time use background features for things like Folk Hero, or a couple of the others that will give you shelter, or might take you in, or teach you something. So you can certainly manifest them as 3 contacts if you wish, but otherwise you for sure have 3 uses of knowledge of someone or a place.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure how to interpret that right now. Should I, do you want me to decide what they are right now?
No,
'Cause
you don't have to. If you wish to treat this almost like, well, I'm going to... It's sort of like announcing you're going to use a birthday crit. Like, if you want to use one of your instances, then that would sort of just manifest either advantage, or it would just straight up provide you something in regards to what you're cashing in. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense, because I didn't come prepared with that today.
No, that's fine. I want to keep this... I mean, not that you can't make friends or anything, but I do want to keep this kind of streamlined, and to allow you, in the meta sense as DM to players, to not have to worry about building kind of a jumbled, contact thing on the fly. Meanwhile, just we'll cash it in as it goes, and we'll role play it ad hoc as is necessary.
Okay.
All right. So after this first, I mean, it says a week. Whether it's a working week of 5 days or 7. Several days have passed. What you're doing is rather kind of low-hanging fruit stuff, exploring the city, getting a mental map, learning about important places. Norallie, you're really just reestablishing yourself with people who already knew you. So we'll say that 3 days have passed, and you have earned the results of this going out and learning things.
Mr. Halver might be back today.
And yep, let's see if Mr. Halver's back. I will give him from a 71 to 100 to see if he's back. And a 24. No. So no, Mr. Halver is not back yet. So now we are on day 4, or otherwise, if you want to consider it more broadly, the next phase. If you're waiting for him to come back, then that's fine. We can consider something else short term. But again, you're still not under pressure. It's not like you have people following you around or being suspicious. I will add, Bright, with the level of your investigation, you have noticed that there are a couple times that Herbert has changed colors. Norallie, it's not like you can't either, but I know Bright was really trying to monitor for this. However, you are detecting vampire colors, so red, and they seem to be rather just discreetly put into the population. Like, they're not attacking someone. They're not, walking around with collars, kind of looking around over their shoulder. They are.
The vampires always pop their collars. It's a dead giveaway.
Well, especially because they're just so large, right? You get the big dramatic. Makes the Lithids look like posers.
Okay. So that's good to know. So Norallie, did you find out where your brother is, or where he was going?
Not quite yet. I did talk to people, and they're giving me quite a runaround. Or maybe just Loki, when did a runaround before. Because he had plenty of time to be in town. before he left. So I'm still on a trail. But well, Mr. Halvard, he's not back today, but he could be back tomorrow, the next day. But we don't have to be here. We can keep looking.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, if you found anyone in particular, somebody that you think might know, but didn't want to tell you, maybe I could help you. I think between the two of us, we have a lot of magic powers, and we might be able to, make someone tell you. But also, I don't know. I mean, I've been trying to meet some new people who are maybe a little more a little less likely to do bad things, maybe, let's say that. And I mean, obviously none of them know who your brother is. I haven't really even been asking, but some of them know some things about ships, and they might, if we could find out what ship he was on, we might be able to find out where he was going, or maybe why he left.
Okay, that might work. So we just gotta find out what ship he got on, and then we'll find out where that ship.
Yeah.
That sounds easy. I mean, that's easy enough since, we've already been at it a few days. So we'll find someone who's seen him get on a boat while he was on drugs. He's gonna go blind.
Yeah, you probably don't go blind from that right away. It probably takes a while.
Yeah, but just because you do it once doesn't mean it's the only time you're gonna do it. People say, "Oh, it's just one time," but no, it's not.
Okay.
Mordecai, he took it once, but then he went and bought more. He thinks I didn't notice, but I did.
Norallie sees all.
Okay.
You can't
Well,
tell where my eyes are pointing.
it's true. That's the advantage of not having people.
Yeah, really it is.
The disadvantage of having them.
All right, so then I guess Downtime-ish 2 is going to be cashing in maybe one of your info favors from someone, Norallie, to see if they've been able to get some to get some dirt on your brother over the past couple days.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. There is in this case, since you are expending a currency here, there is. I will roll on my end to find out if there is any information to give to you just yet through the use of your contacts. And
Oh, no.
so the person who is at the docks tells you, "Oh, sweet Norallie, I did my best, and all I can tell you is he got on board a ship a while ago, and apparently some of the people thought that he was hanging out with kind of a seedy crowd. But then again, looking around, I can try and keep my eyes and ears open for you. I had to call in a couple favors myself. If you give me more time, I can try. Sorry I don't have anything more solid for you, little lady."
Oh, it's all right. Let me know if you hear anything else though, because he's gonna go blind and I need to stop him. Because he's doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. I mean, we all do stuff we shouldn't be doing, but he's doing stuff he really shouldn't be doing.
Oh, are you talking about, he leans in, are you talking about the lucifrese?
Yes.
Oh, quite a tragedy. A lot of kids these days are trying it out. It's a blight on our community, Norallie. I don't know what makes it so special to us, but not that I wish this on any of the other races. Apparently we've deserved some kind of special hell.
Not right. Anyways, thank you for your help. I'll drop by in a little while, and and see if you know anything else then. Thank you, though.
Yep, well, I'll keep doing my best. Sometimes you just gotta have some patience, young one. That's the biggest lesson that an old man like me can teach you.
Yeah, I think I'm getting better at that.
At the
wait
same
around
time,
a
I think
lot.
I'm obliged to tell you that you shouldn't ever wait too long. Us old folks are pretty good at giving out sort of advice that you say one thing and we also say the other thing that completely contradicts it. It's up to you. Apparently it's mysterious or something like that. Anyway, you get the idea. I gave you my lecture.
That's my mistake.
I did my job.
Alright. Well, I'll see you. I'm gonna go see if Mr. Halver's back. Oh, if you see Mr. Halver, let me know as well.
Oh, yeah. What's he been up to lately?
I don't know. Apparently he can, like, pretend to be a gnome sometimes. That's kind of weird, but whatever.
Well, you magic types, look, I don't judge. People of all kinds of lifestyles out there. If he wants to be a gnome part-time, that's up to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a thing you can do part-time.
Oh?
I mean, I know I'm not there, but it's just an aside to the audience.
Being a gnome is a full-time commitment. This is overtime, even. Yeah, well, I've never been really one to do much or understand even my own natural gifts. I'll leave that to people who know better, like Mr. Halver.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I'm gonna ask around a bit more. I'll see you around later.
Yep. Good luck to you, ma'am. Good luck. If you want to come back another time, again, give me maybe a couple days, and I'll see what I can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I may not know a lot about magic, but I can certainly use my eyes and ears and tail and horns and all the things that we use to sense that people don't tell them, but we can sense through that stuff. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't know. Right, you didn't hear that.
I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
she's not
I'm actually not there.
So Norallie is her part 2 unfortunately didn't end up too well. But at the same time, Norallie, you also didn't, find yourself with some kind of a creepy stalker on the wharf or ended up falling into, I don't know, a pit trap or something.
I don't see a pit trap in the carousing table.
Whose game is this?
I mean, if your
I'm going to
pit
keep
trap's
you on your
already-
toes unless I'm
if your
dropping you
carousing
into a
table doesn't
spiked
have a
pit
pit
in
trap,
the middle of a
you're
wharf. So what is Bright doing for this kind of part 2 of Downtime?
Okay, so my second phase downtime is I want to start actually setting up a little magic shop. Not like selling trinkets and bits and bobs and scrolls and things. Although maybe I'll come by some, but more like an itinerant wizard, or journeyman wizard, journey gnome woman wizard, who will hire herself out to do magical things for people who might need them.
Oh, okay, so not magic items, but just magical services.
Yeah.
Ah.
Like I can do kind of a lot of things. Some of them are pretty fun.
Sure.
So I think I might be able to find some clients because I could set up myself up as like a private eye because I have a bunch of divination abilities now, and I could be a really effective private eye, spying on people, and if anybody needs their house fumigated, with a fireball. maybe that idea needs some work, but I have lots of illusions and things that I can do, so I would be great at kids' birthday parties, and of course, if somebody needs protection, whether magical or something like that,
Okay.
I'm pretty good at that, and then of course some things like things like suggestion and identify are always useful. Everybody needs those. So just lots of things I can do.
Sure. So what you can do for this next period is we can expend one of your social resources, and you can take on some kind of a some kind of a job. I guess that would be up to you. You have a lot of interesting strengths that you could play to. Would you like to try and assist a private investigator? Would you like to, try to be an exterminator? What would you want to do here?
Well, I mean, it just kind of depends on what people need, but I think investigation is probably where I'd be best.
Sure.
Right now.
All right. So we can have you work and do a little bit of research here for a private investigator. So you met this person. You left her with a very good initial impression. By showing off your skills and your knowledge. You approach her and ask if you can help in some tasks, and so she will give you a sort of a cursory an initial assignment to prove yourself. So she's not gonna give you her top case or anything along those lines, but this would require some research, and if you can help her with the case by sort of acting as a support role by either divining information, researching information, or the like. So let's see if this is going to be more of. Let's see. We can use investigation for this unless you have another idea. If you want to just do office work, you can definitely use your calligraphy. You could even base this off of intelligence if you'd rather work a desk job.
Oh, I want to be out actually using my abilities. I mean, calligraphy's fun, but I feel like part of my life is not as important as it used to be. So, no, I definitely want to do this with magic. So however I can help with that.
Sure. All right, then, given the nature of this initial job, and of course, she might be willing to offer more and more jobs or more difficult jobs later on. Go ahead and you can make an intelligence investigation, and you can do this one at advantage, since this is it's pretty bread and butter. It's not necessarily a job offered to you to try and.
Oh, that's not very good. That's a 12.
Okay, so perhaps there are some other thoughts that are dancing through your mind. I mean, certainly you have some very real concerns that you expressed earlier, and there's just. There's so much pressure on your little shoulders. I mean, sometimes the world feels perhaps like you are, like you're the one bearing it. Kind of like a gnomish atlas. Now, what you can do, though, is that you haven't failed at the task with a 12. You are going to, you're going to be given a modest lifestyle for the week, and you can either take this as pay, or you can put this towards maybe goodwill or something if you want to refuse payment instead. Would you like this as like a currency, or do you want this more like a hard currency or like a social currency?
Oh, I want this as social currency right now.
Okay.
I need to establish myself, not put pennies in my pocket. So the way I would want to play that off is I don't know exactly what I was doing, so that's probably why I didn't know exactly what I was doing.
So
but the way I would try to play it off is that I'm new at this, and I want the opportunity to use my magical skills more than just my grunt work skills, because that's really where I'm better, and maybe I can take an initiative, and I know what I'll do. So. Little friend. Hi.
Peggy Sue.
So,
All right.
I've enjoyed you being a unicorn, and I really like it. Have you enjoyed being a unicorn too? So, would you like to go back to being a cricket again?
You get a non-committal shrug, as much as a unicorn can.
I'm gonna miss you because I have a giant plushie that's twice your size, and I can use that for a bigot. But I'm gonna miss that. But what I really need right now is someone who can actually be a fly on the wall in places, and that's also sometimes technically the fly is a cricket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to turn you back into a cricket now.
Okay, so you can perform the necessary ritual to convert Peggy Sue from her current form back into a large, not large as in like two by two square size, but a large cricket for a bug.
So there she is. Yeah, see, it's nice having you in my hair again.
That's right. Oh my gosh, we haven't seen that in a long time. It's welcome back, cricket.
Yeah, I still have the prop. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to, because I'm sure whoever I was working for has a nice little office somewhere, and I've got a 30-foot range on my cricket throw in terms of where I can materialize her. So I'm gonna try to materialize Peggy Sue in the office, and then I'm gonna use her senses to spy on the next client she has, and then when she whatever client she has, I'm going to try to use my magical abilities to solve the case before she can, and that'll prove my worth as someone who can actually use my magic rather than just like being a rookie.
Okay.
Bright doesn't like to start at the bottom and work her way up. It's not how she does things.
Fair enough.
All right. We will have Mr. Halver manifest on a 41 and up. Then after this this second foray out into downtime. Hey. All right. So after downtime number 2, Mr. Halver does in fact return, and we can have an interaction, or you can incorporate him into your downtime. Norallie, he doesn't act any differently. I mean, he kind of comes back in a fluster, but he always almost seems to. He's glad to see you again, Bright. Hopes that you learn the lay of the place. It's a little odd. Some rooms lead back into themselves or into another room, but that room just leads back to the other. But
I really like it. It's fun. It's a little confusing, but I really like it anyway.
So, Mr. Halber, where'd you go this time?
Well, oh yes, I was well, I had to make my way down to Lacuna. There's I had to visit the dragon graveyard.
You came back really fast for that. That's
Well,
like way farther than.
I thought you said dragons didn't exist.
Well, there's a dragon graveyard that's there. They're located in an igneous valley in the middle of the sea, and there was some research that I had to do. I'm getting this feeling that things of old are happening again, and I simply had to go down there and see what I had to see.
That's an interesting way of putting things. Did you happen to use a teleportation circle to get there?
Yes.
Did you happen to find a tiefling man who's bright blue hair and dresses actually like everyone else around here, or a nice half-elf lady, maybe a little on the chunky side, who's but also very warm inside, and also a big black dragonborn who talks all the time? Did you meet anybody like that?
I may have. Even with the prospect of the looming
There's also
war.
an elf with like golden hair that kind of caused someone to die, or two someones to die. So we were mad at them.
Oh,
and,
I
he was
couldn't
scared of
really
the
tell you
others.
if someone was a killer, or what your mood towards
Well,
any
no, he
particular.
didn't kill them. He just kind of caused it.
Oh well, I can't say that I have seen those individuals. At least none that stood out. The Dragon Graveyard, of course, in most places is attracts historians and tourists, and even in this wartime environment, there was even a couple of people apparently from the Shadhar Empire who were touring the place and apparently seeing what there was to see.
Bright thinks they're all vampires, but I don't think they are.
They're probably all vampires, or mostly vampires. Were these
Oh.
vampires?
I wasn't bit, so perhaps not. At least not the ones that I walked amongst.
Okay, well, see, it's funny that you'd say walked amongst. That's the sort of things vampires do.
Oh.
In fact, walking amongst is exactly what they do.
Oh.
We've seen actually just a few of them around here. They're pretty much just walking amongst.
Well,
Yeah.
I was invisible because I
Herbert's
don't
really good at finding them.
I don't interact with people that I don't wish to interact with all that well.
That's fair. Well, sorry to give you the third degree when you come right back. I hope you had a nice trip. Do you need to rest?
I wasn't aware that you were that you could confer such papers on people. I don't know what lesson I learned, but I'll happily accept more degrees to put on my wall.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you the honorary degree from the Gnomish Academy of Calligraphy. It's a prestigious university that I just made up. And I'll give you a degree from it. It's honorary. It doesn't actually mean anything.
Oh, a unique treasure.
I'll make it for you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll make it for you right now. And I'll make a diploma. I have my calligraphy set. It's probably not with me. It's probably in my room. But I can still. I'll have it ready for you at dinner time.
I will be around for a while, Norallie and Bright. I need to add my knowledge to my books, so I'll be spending most of my time in the library. However, if you need anything, you can find me there. Just simply wish to go to the library, and most doors should take you there. And if they don't, then just try again.
If you wish to go to the library and take the fourth door to the right, it'll take you to the basement. Don't go there. It's messy.
Is there a leopard in the basement?
I do not think so. I'd probably pet it if there was.
Okay.
So Mr. Halver's returned. He has indicated that the Shadowhar, there's at least tourism of a sort going on, but with the native people to the Mesotopia region, that is still happening, as well as some visitors or dignitaries or whatever, military personnel, who are seen kind of walking through the more kind of touristy national park sounding parts of this place, as the Dragon Graveyard is it's mostly open to the public, and it's treated as a kind of a tourist trap / income source for Lacuna, which is the region of Mesotopia to the south along the coast. So Mr. Halver's available for the next segment. If you want to incorporate him somehow, he is going to be not avoiding you, but he's a busy man who's doing some writing and some wandering around the house.
I'm definitely going to take advantage of that while he's here. But I'll let Norallie go first because she's always been going first.
All right, Norallie, what are you
I'm
doing in
gonna-
this
I'm gonna-
part 3?
I'm gonna figure out if Mr. Halver can help me with my investigation and finding out what boat Loki got on and or where he's headed.
Sure. Okay, so you want to work with Mr. Halver then in tracking down your brother, presumably through magical means, because Mr. Halver's not exactly going to be piloting a ship out to sea.
Unless he wants to, that'd be fun. And then we wouldn't have to pay for basin because we'd have a ship. And we wouldn't need to get a ticket because we would own the ship.
Very well. So for this next part, as Mr. Halver otherwise would have been occupied, how could he turn down a face like that? Of course, Norallie. That's why he's seen so much potential in you, and he's watched you grow and blossom to the woman that you are today. So he will take some of his own time away. However, what we can do here. So this is more of a check on my end. So we will see over the course of the next several days if his ability to cast spells or try and find your brother, because obviously he's familiar with him, can bear fruit and what that can mean. Okay. So after several days, Norallie, I mean, you're probably checking in quite, at least on a daily basis, if not, hey, here's the meal that you asked me to bring for you. How's things going? He tells you that he can't seem to find your brother, despite being able to look in on him. Just due to his familiarity. He's trying to explain magic to you in this professorial way. These are the effects, and so forth. And he presumes that your brother, or someone traveling with his brother, is making the party not able to be detected. And there are some magics that are capable of doing that. And so this is going to prompt him asking, is he hanging out with a bad crowd? Was there anyone in particular that you would want to hide him from you, or from me, or from anyone else who's concerned about Lokiadius?
I don't. I heard that the Von LLA girl was doing something shady, well, we met this one guy. And he was like a knight or something, but he said that he used to work for this fiend, and that the one girl also worked for the fiend now, and they were trying to say that Loki worked for the fiend, but I don't think he would do something like that, because he doesn't like working for other people. He likes being his own boss. But maybe he thought he would go a shot, and maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, yes, I recall that you mentioned her name, and I know that woman well. Well, I don't know her well, but I know that she is definitely a troubling influence on your brother, Norallie. So unfortunately, there's not much I can do. There's not much I can do from here if, in fact, he is being obscured magically from my own abilities to sense him. I'm sorry for that, Norallie. You might have to either just get lucky, or to continue your search to pursue your brother.
I mean, I'm pretty good at getting lucky,
Yes, I did
still
sense that you have this, that magic is flowing through you like a conduit of sorts. It's quite a unique gift, and it's something that I believe you've been exerting more control over.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Last thing that happened was like bubbles or something. Or maybe it was something else. Oh no, I turned into a plant again. You remember that time?
Oh,
That was fun.
well, yes, and for some of the mistakes that happened when your power was beginning to course through you, I don't understand why it made your brother so jealous as it did. But let's not live in the past, shall we? We must live in the present and look forward to the future. And Bright, during this time when Norallie is working with Mr. Halver, you wanted to go and try and approach the detective again?
Well, now I have a bind, because I mean, talking to Halbert Ellisman is the whole reason that I came here. So
Okay.
I definitely want to do that.
Okay.
But I also definitely want to try to establish myself still as a valuable wizard in the community. So I told him I would have a degree, an honorary degree from the Gnomish School of Calligraphy. So I'm going to make that, and I'll try to give it to him on the first day, maybe before dinner, and find out if he's planning to go away again anytime soon, or if he's going to stay. because if he's gonna stay, then I can afford to wait on that. But if he's gonna go away again, then I'm gonna have to talk to him before he does, and everything else is gonna have to wait.
Sure. In this, I guess in this sort of briefer moment before leading into the period of time we're discussing, he, based on what he's writing and then comparing to his notes, he estimates there's about a 50% chance that he's going to have to leave at the end of the week to go continue research elsewhere. So for sure he's here, and if you have questions or want to work with him, you have him for about a week before he may have to go. Otherwise, he might need to stick around a little bit longer in order to collect more local information or to continue his reading and his sort of cross-examination of facts and figures.
50-50 odds. I like those odds. So I'm gonna go. I don't know why I like those odds. Those aren't good odds. Those are average odds. But,
no, but you're a glass half full. No.
I am. So I'll go. I'm gonna keep working on establishing myself as a valued member of the community here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna follow through with my plan from before.
Okay. So now you want to use, you go back. You did a good enough job that she did invite you back. She's not going to put the big case in your lap because, I mean, you did an okay job last time. And you want to prove yourself through your magics. And so, pardon me. Let's see. She is going to have you... Ah, okay. She's gonna have you try and find a missing person, and get some information. She's gonna ask you to be cautious. I mean, she's not paying any sort of medical bills or funeral expenses if you get yourself into trouble. But this is a case that, it's not pressing like, oh, this is a high intensity, high profile political possible murder or something like that. This is someone who lives more in the poorer section of town, and so someone she knew passed it along, because normally she wouldn't take a case like this, but she's doing it as a favor to another family, and so she's asking you to do some investigation. So if needed, she can be the one to pull the trigger on going and finding the person or capturing or bringing back a report or something along those lines. But if you can do some of the asking around or some of the, I guess like the setup, or to find out that, make sure people aren't lying, to make sure that you are getting the truth or a direction, that this is a good chance for you to test those skills.
Okay. Yeah, that seems fair.
All right. In this case, because you have the prompt already, and she can direct you to the family who's seeking this. This is going to be more along the lines of things like lie detecting, of maybe pushing people to give you answers. And you do have some magic that is available to assist you in this regard as well. Let's go with an insight check at advantage.
15.
Okay. So with a 15, the family seems to be rather begrudging. No, that's not the right word. Not begrudging. They're hesitant to go into detail, and not because you're a gnome or even because you're from a representative of this detective, but they seem to want to not talk about this family member. They are. You're sensing perhaps some, not suspicious, shame about this family member, and they're concerned he's missing, but they perhaps don't seem surprised that he's missing either.
Yeah. So I know what that's like. Actually, in two kind of different ways I know what that's like, because... so what are their names? Who am I talking to? You know, the worst thing you could ask a DM, what are their names?
Yeah. Hey, that's fine. If I can give, I can also take it here. We're gonna say it's a tiefling family because this is majority tiefling in this city. And so we have Lottie, Lotti, who's the mother of this person. We have Lottie, and we have Piran, who is the father of the figure.
Okay. So I'm kind of the black. So we have an expression in Gnomish where it's called being the white mole. I'm the white mole of the family. But maybe for you it would be more like the pink sheep, the black sheep. Black sheep, that's how it is in common. I don't know what it is in Infernal. So I'm kind of the black sheep of my family too. I didn't used to be. I'm the oldest and I have 4 sisters. That's how it works with our people. It's always either all girls or all boys, and so I have 4 sisters, and well, I had 4 sisters. Now I have 3 sisters, and one of them didn't make it, and the rest of my family, they kind of blamed me for it, and it wasn't really my fault. Actually, I was trying to save her, but they didn't see it that way. So you know, I can appreciate from that angle.
Are
that
you
might
blaming us then? The father kind of like,
that's not the moral of this story at all. It's also not even the right analogy. That's not it at all. No. But anyway, just because you're afraid that he might have gotten into trouble doesn't mean that he doesn't to find him, and it also doesn't mean that it was necessarily all his fault. And then I have a good friend, Norallie, and I actually came here with her to this town, and she has a brother that's gotten into a little bit of trouble, and we've been looking for him she's been looking for him for like a year, and I've been looking for him with her for a long time too, and we're getting closer, but it's just a lot of work. And so I just want you to know that I'm gonna put the same amount of work into finding your son. So,
yeah, well,
anyway,
if you want to find either this other kid or our own, just go to the local lucifrese den. I'm sure he's just hopped up in some sort of a room or whatever. And at that point, like, the wife is like, Piri, no. What? Lottie, it's true. And he's making, he stands up, he's making wild gestures. Do you want to live in denial? No, but we raised him right. He would never. Yeah, well, he does. I'm sure of it. You've seen that look in his eyes sometimes he comes home. Well, but that could just be, he was out drinking with his friends. And so these two are now kind of in a. This is an emotional, like you've hit an emotional.
Matty just died.
Uh-oh.
It was a little more heated than we thought.
Apparently
no, I lost
so.
him on video too.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, he died.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Yet we're still talking, so I still have internet.
We good?
No.
I still see him on video, but
I see video, but I don't hear audio.
I lost him on video too. Yes, I can reconnect.
I've got him back on video.
Okay.
There he is on video.
Matty, reconnect us to Discord.
Reconnect to Discord.
But he has background noise.
Hello?
There it goes.
There we go.
Okay.
Hey.
Can you see
Discord
me and hear
derped on
me?
you.
Yeah, no, it just went real derpy there for a second.
Okay. It might be Discord. I guess in that case, well, no, if you lost me on video too, then...
Yeah, you probably just had a momentary network boop, and it got better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's happened.
That could be. I guess that means that all of you just are gonna have to, you're gonna have to boost my Discord. because Discord is holding better connection rates over our heads for more people who boost your server with Nitro. So there you go, everyone. We are going to be held hostage. If you want better rates. Slam that boost button in the bell.
I didn't know there was boosting. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it's a newer thing that they introduced. You get better audio quality, and so I'm presuming a better connection, and some other stuff.
Okay.
But yes.
Well, I have Nitro, but I'll look into it later because
okay.
I'm busy.
Yeah. But hey, we're connected now. So yes, we had such an intense family moment that it just.
It just booped you.
All right, so they're having this back and forth. I mean, with the 15 in the terms of the fact that this is an ongoing, this is something here. You'll look into it. You're getting the feeling that this is tense, and this is much more than what the private eye was getting at, because either even if she didn't know, then she doesn't just deal with cases like this, and she had a strong suspicion that the son is hanging out with ne'er-do-wells, or could be face down in a gutter, or be sunk to the bottom of the bay if he angered the wrong people. And so from here,
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and poof up Peggy Sue, and I will leave her behind so that she can observe what they do after I leave.
Okay.
So I mean they were in mid argument before, and I don't necessarily feel the need to leave. I'm kind of just more interested in observing it. I mean I get the sense. I mean I understand how they're working, but they haven't really. And it sounds like they're not really. Their clues have been very general. They haven't really said anything specific yet, and I get the sense that they probably know more than they're letting on, even though they're be a little more forthcoming. So I'm really just going to be more of a good listener right now, and let them burn out so that they can be more comfortable with me.
Okay. Since this is an action over time, I mean we're discussing things in the immediacy. With your 15 here, you've done more than decent, and I'm not saying like 51% is or like a D is a passing grade. You would end up picking up that you would get a couple names of, or at least the street names of people that their son hung out with, and you're also going to be picking up the neighborhoods where these lucifrese dens are reported to be. Like they would know that their son always seems to go to this one district, and to you mentioned something about a blue house or whatever, and so you're getting information, especially information you can bring back to a private investigator, let alone use in your own brain, about the kind of some vague locations and names, street names of people who are dealers or users themselves, or a little bit of both.
Okay, so that's good. So once they're all done with that, I'll just I'll go ahead and excuse myself. I'll just say thank you. You've been helpful. I'm not gonna say very helpful. You've been helpful, but I think we have some things to go on, and I think we'll. I mean, there's no guarantees, especially in a case like this. I mean, we don't know if he's still alive. We don't know, if where he could be. Maybe he got on a boat and would sail somewhere else, and now no one will ever be able to find him again. We're not sure, but we're good. We have stuff to go on, and we're gonna do the best we can.
If you find him, I mean, clean him up before you bring him back, because it's just gonna happen again. Piri, that's our son you're talking, and again, that seems to just start up a whole new cycle of...
Okay, I'll just go ahead and quietly let myself out while that's happening. Although I will watch the rest of the fight through Peggy Sue,
okay.
and see if they say anything different after I leave.
there's nothing that is significantly different. It's more the same. Their argument is more on passion. They're not thinking too clearly, and so you're really just through Peggy Sue's compound eyes and antenna ears. You're really just picking up that this is definitely a point of contention in the family, and that this is it's just very upsetting and straining for them. Over the course of time here too,
She can come right back.
Okay. Poof. You will Norallie and Bright will learn that Mr. Halver, aka Delis of the Blue Flame, will be sticking around for about another week or so, as he made a miscalculation on things and he needs to double check his work.
See, I knew that was gonna happen.
And Bright, your success in this endeavor, because you're gonna need to bring something back to be judged and appraised. If you're gonna cash it in for more social credit or karma with her, this would open up a more direct job. It could be related to actually going and putting yourself more in harm's way by actually investigating these drug dens, or if you choose a different route, there might be another type of job out there.
I don't feel like I've put myself in harm's way enough, actually.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and cast mage armor, and I'm gonna actually go to the drug dens. I mean, why do I have to wait for that? And I'm also gonna disguise myself, because that's a thing I like to do. And this is gonna be, I'm sorry, Norallie, but I'm turning myself into a smaller version of Norallie.
Okay.
Except very grubby and dirty, and like what I imagine like the worst case for Norallie at age 8 would have been.
Oh, okay. Look, quite the ragamuffin here. Probably even has like a broken horn and everything too.
Yeah.
All right. What then? But by doing this, what is the goal over the course of days that you're hoping to do here?
The plan is to, I mean, I'm not expecting to see him. Did they have a picture or anything of this guy, or a name for that matter?
No, they have a street name, but that's.
No, I mean for their son.
Oh, for their son. They don't have a picture.
It's Mike. I told in chat it would be Mike.
Oh, did I'm sorry if I missed a name suggestion you said?
Someone in chat, Mike Delta, is like, oh, can I be a name? I was like, yeah, you can be this in person.
Okay, so the son who's in trouble is named Mayak, Maik.
Mayak. So bad. Okay. So anyway, sorry, my computer had a spaz.
It's fine. I can still see and hear you.
Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna. So my overall plan is something of a stakeout, but because I look so miserable and helpless, they're probably gonna overlook me, or maybe they'll throw rocks at me or something. But I'm not bothered by that. I look pretty vulnerable, so my guess is that the anybody who might have wanted this Mayak to get in trouble might take an interest in me too.
Yes, and in fact, hanging out by an area where tieflings are using lucifrese, you're actually going to be noticed much more quickly, given the fact it absolutely opens up all the senses of a tiefling. Then how are you hoping to it's not a stakeout, to sort of secrete yourself into this community and to try and get names and locations, or I'm sorry, what the overtime goal is going to be here?
So I'm kind of expecting that. Okay, so if it's going to take place over a matter of days, I'm probably going to take the information back to the whoever the owner of the shop is, but I'm also going to continue the investigation, and I'm going to. I'm just gonna kind of to hang around. I'll be there for a while, for times up to perhaps an hour, and then I'll disappear, and I'll just be someone who's just kind of hanging around, and hopefully somebody will. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a percentile set. Okay. So yeah, she's impressed by your work as you're magically altering yourself. Unlike some more well-to-do people, the poorer folk of the area, especially in a place like this, don't have any sort of, at least you presume, don't have any sort of magic detection or the ability to screen you or to, disenchant anything along those lines. You'll get the customary, like, are you a cop? You got to tell me if you're a cop. But that's,
I don't think I look like a cop.
No, I mean you look like you look like an 8-year-old ragamuffin tiefling, but but it seems to be they ask by rote. Okay, so you're going to spend this time then to infiltrate, to observe. You will, over the course of this time as well, you will see Mayak after a couple days of hanging out here. He does come back, and he seems to trade in some goods to someone who does give him a couple vials of lucifrese.
Oh, so Mayak actually appeared.
Yes.
Stuff. Okay. So in a case like that, it is time for me to put my arcane eye on him. And I will follow him around, and I will do my very best to. I mean, I've been kind of in and out, so I'll just choose this time to be out, and I will follow the arcane eye.
Okay.
And I will follow him, and it can move. So, and it lasts an hour, so I should get a pretty good idea of where he's going.
Okay.
I will also tail him at a. I mean, it doesn't have to be close. I can be a mile away if I want to. So I'll tail him from far enough away.
Tail him at tailing?
I'm not actually tailing him. I'm just tailing him.
Yeah, you got to watch out. Tailing someone in a tiefling community means something completely different. Okay. So for following him, you are going to learn that he does in fact take lucifrese, though he actually holds off on taking it until he gets to a higher end part of town. We're talking like very nice townhouses, and he kind of sneakily climbs up a gutter, and he lays out on a roof of a very nice a very nice townhouse, and there, as the sun is getting ready to set, he has a rather good view of the sea. He lays out on the tile roof, and he just sort of stares up at the sky, right? But he's kind of at an angle because of the pitched roof. But you presume if you could see his pupils, he's probably looking back and forth between the sea and the sky, the sun. And go ahead and make a perception as well.
Perception 12.
Okay. It looks like that there are at this point in time there are several people who are walking into the house. and they're carrying they're carrying bags of food.
Interesting. Okay. I'm not concerned about. I mean, I'm a little concerned about them, but I'm not that concerned about them. Okay, so he's up on the roof. Has he actually taken the lucifrese
Yes.
yet, or is
Yeah,
he
he
just
has.
he's just setting up? Okay. So from my observations of Mordecai, do I remember how long luciferase lasts?
I don't know.
Number of hours, I remember.
I think you discovered at least on his initial take of it, it might have been a couple hours.
Okay, so it's probably not going to last that long because he probably has a little bit of a tolerance. So that's okay. That's a good amount of time. So and he's up on the roof. How big is it? Is it big enough that I could kind of hide up there?
You could hide on the roof, yeah. There's some nice like gingerbreading for decoration. There's several chimneys, since it seems like a lot of the bedrooms have fireplaces. It's a very nice townhouse that even the roof is a high quality.
Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and go on up there with my fly spell. And I'm going to be on the opposite side of the roof for him because I don't want to get spotted. But little cricket Peggy Sue can crawl around on the roof,
Yes.
and she can go over to his side, probably without being noticed at all. And she'll just wait for him to start to come out of it. And hopefully I'll recognize what that is because of my experience with Mordecai.
All right, so you're flying, and then you're gonna wait. You're hiding on the roof, but you're gonna look and listen through Peggy Sue.
Yes.
Okay. I need you to make a stealth check.
Team.
Okay.
Proficiency, but I'm still pretty good.
Okay. Even a tiefling on lucifrese doesn't hear you kind of pitter-pattering around the roof. And so Peggy Sue comes out, and you're gonna spend some time. Investigating through her senses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning to talk to this guy. I mean, he'll probably be a little surprised when I just walk up to him on the roof. But I'm planning to talk to him as soon as the lucifer starts to wear off. I'm just going to come up and talk to him. But if anything else, happens, then I'm going to react to that.
Okay.
Kind of chilling up here on the opposite. Like if it's like a pitched roof, right? He's on one side and I should be on the other side, so he's not gonna like notice me. But then he'll just, when he comes to, I'll just walk up to him.
Okay. How do I get rid of this? There we go. All right. I had some notification about hotkeys. I don't think I was chatting in the, or I was pressing buttons, but I wasn't in chat here. All right. So about an hour and a half in. He's remained fairly still, and he just begins silently weeping. Like there's just tears that are coming down his cheek, and he shudders a couple times as he's still laid out on the roof. The sun has all but set. It's actually probably below the horizon, so you're just getting like kind of an orange purple, then like a black sky as night is quickly falling over the city, and yet he hasn't changed position, but he just begins weeping.
Okay, so that's actually really kind of sad for him, but so they're like normal tears though. They're not like blood or anything.
No, he's not weeping blood out of his eyeballs or anything. These would be normal tiefling tears. I mean, it might be more like Tabasco than salt water, but while this is happening, go ahead and roll a perception.
Okay. Oh.
Okay.
Least perceptive gnome ever.
No, but that.
Okay, so whatever's sneaking up behind me, I don't see it.
He's crying on the roof.
I'm watching to make sure he doesn't like go into cardiac arrest or anything. But other than that, I'm just kind of waiting. I mean, I don't want to interrupt. I want him to go through this all.
Okay.
And have me there just as soon as he starts to come to.
Okay. He, after another short while, actually then sits up, which is most of his movement that has been over the course of several hours. It's now nighttime out. There's wonderful smells that have been coming up through the chimneys for a while, and the lights in the house are all on. He sits up and he crawls to the edge of the house.
All right, that's my
Or to the
cue.
roof. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's my cue. So I walk up to him.
Okay.
And I'm not disguised or anything, I'm just me.
Okay.
I don't need to be 8-year-old ragamuffin for this. Also, I don't want to use another spell slot. Hi, are you Mike?
Yeah.
So, I know you might be surprised to see me up here, but there are people that care about you and that are looking for you, and I couldn't help but notice that you were crying, and I don't want to pry. If you're in a bad position, there's lots of people that can help you.
If you don't want to pry, then why
It's
are
really
you
just
on
an
top of a
expression.
3-story
I'm actually
townhouse?
here to pry. I was just being polite. I'm actually here to pry.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything to say. Did your
I know.
and he's eyeing you, and he's kind of a twitch.
Yeah.
In his eye.
Yeah. So, I've been sent here to look after you and make sure that you get home safely, and that's what I'm gonna make sure that happens. And I know you don't. And I know you're up here for your own reasons, but the people that care about you, they need you home safe. So,
I see.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you see, because I've heard that the lucifrese can make you go blind. So if you're not blind yet, that's a good start.
I don't know. I don't know if it makes me go blind, but perhaps you can. Maybe you can tell me if it does.
Well, I don't actually know, because I've never taken it, because it only works on tieflings, and I'm not, because check me out. But, so I noticed that you're talking a little funny. Is that, so the other people who I've known who've taken lucifrese, they didn't really talk like that. Is that something that you've always done, or is that new?
I think that maybe you're the one. Let's see. And as he looks at you, he casts darkness.
Oh, that's interesting.
And there's a scrambling sound coming off the roof tiles.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast fly again, and I'm gonna fly in the direction of where he's climbing down.
Okay.
You'd be able to hear it, at least well enough to see as he climbs down.
Okay. You are casting fly again. You go off the edge. There's this sphere of darkness. You don't see him climbing down or out of it. But you do hear some cries from within the house, like "Aye!"
Okay. So I don't have a way to dispel that darkness. But hopefully I can. Okay, I know he's in the house, so I'm just gonna go to some other window in the house and enter through that window. I'll break the window if I have to.
Okay. Sure. So you go in here, and Norallie, are you still with us?
Yeah, I had a refresh.
Okay. I know you got to go to bed here soon, so we can wrap up this segment here shortly.
Okay.
Ultimately, is your aim to somehow capture him, or just to
I'm still looking for dialogue. I mean,
Okay.
I can tell you what my plan is, which is to get close enough to him and hit him with a suggestion to tell him to go home. And I wanted to talk to him first, and I guess counterspell would be a good thing to have for someone in my position. So I'll have to pick that up as soon as I can. But but yeah, I just want to talk to him still. I mean, I'm not planning to beat him in like a combat, although I'll fight him if I have to. But no, I'm just gonna hit him with a suggestion, make him go home.
Okay.
And apologize to the people whose house I'm presently traipsing through.
What is the save against your spell?
It's an auto fail because I have two portents.
Oh,
Exactly.
this is a legitimate circumstance where you look at the DM and say it's going to fail. All right, so over the course of this chase through this manor, or through this like kind of grand townhouse, you suggest that he goes home, and you get a little bit of one of your headaches, and it seems to, that reality or that imposition, or I think, is that how she views her divination? Was that instance?
No, it's more like, actually, it's a lot like the remember the bridge and how the creature at the bridge was not in the same time frame as the rest of us?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little like that, where like for just a moment she's in the future instead of in the present, and so things happen, but she can't do anything about it because it's already happened. And then she comes back to reality, and then it happens.
Okay.
In a case like this where it's a suggestion and I'm casting a spell, it would be like I go forward and I see that he has like he's like the spell has worked, and then I come back and then I would know like exactly the right words to say to make sure that it happens because I just saw it happen and work.
Then make me one insight check, and then we'll see if we can button this up.
Okay, 14.
Okay. He takes your suggestion, and rather calmly, instead of running through and he's not trying to break things or hurt people, but he's running through. Stuff is getting knocked over, all the same. He leaves the house, and as you are, well, I mean, the family and maybe guests inside, there's a lot of people in the house.
I'll apologize to them in a minute.
Well, I'm kind of rolling all of this in with insight as you're putting some things together emotionally, or you're making these connections, not necessarily out of pure cold logic, but out of understanding now what is going on with this person. You were at Mayek's house, and you saw the conditions in which he lived, and the way that his parents got along with each other. You've now been inside of this house, and it looks like that these are people. I mean, they're well-to-do for sure. There's some very nice decorations, very tiefling in appearance, which matches their wonderful ostentatious clothing and jewelry and such. And in looking at the state of things and in hearing what these people had to say, because of course some are like, oh, call the police on him, just he's trying to break in, and so that there's a whole hubbubaloo, and they're actually calming each other down, and you get this feeling, Bright, that given his home life, that Mayek came here perhaps even knowing that this was a family that was rational, was peaceful, and in going back and you're not even just investigating again with your cold logic. There were smells coming out of all those chimneys, and not just of warming fires, of food, of just a sumptuous banquet. And the family had friends over. Everyone here was eating. They were presumably, I mean, you're kind of focused on watching or listening your target here. But as people are wont to do, almost regardless of their race or geographical location, you had a bunch of people together. You knew that the guests or whoever was bringing a lot of food in, and given the fact that lucifrese opens your senses, he was on the roof of this place while this family was having a dinner party with friends, watching the sunset over the water and smelling the delicious breads and meats and listening to, you know, laughter and conversation among a group of people who can get along with each other. And that may very well explain the tears that he shed when the culmination, you know, when the sun had just gone down, when a joke was told and people laughed, when the smell of something fresh out of the oven was served as the main course and not just an appetizer.
Yeah, I understand. If I have a, I mean, if I have a chance to talk to him at a more peaceful moment, but it doesn't involve him casting spells and running away from me. In my world, things are not like this. We don't really have poverty in the gnome world. So I don't really understand what it's like to be you. I mean, I can put on a form and look like it, but I don't really understand it. But there are people who they paid money to make sure you are safe, and I know they care about you. And just because they don't always get along and they don't have as much as other people have, but they still care about you, and that's the most important thing. I mean, it's possible for you to have money and have power and have all kinds of things, but if you lose your family, you've lost more than you know. So I don't understand your poverty, but I do understand what it's like to lose your family. And better. So I think you should appreciate, I mean, your father doesn't respect your choices, but he paid money to get you back, and your mother loves you very much. So try to make it work with them. And that's not a magical suggestion. It's just a regular gnomish suggestion. And if they know they can hurt each other and they can hurt you, but you don't choose where you're born. You just choose how you handle it. And I think you just need to try harder. Everybody always needs to try as hard as they can. That's all. So I hope we're there now, because I come to the natural conclusion of my story.
Okay. So you have, over the course of this time, I mean, you'd sort of secreted yourself into this world, this lifestyle. It culminated in the finding of this lost. He's not necessarily like a child, but he would definitely be mid to late teens, or the equivalent of tieflings here. And oh, you all right? My cat's kind of coughing, and you're not gonna like throw up on my keyboard, are you? No, I hope not. It's a lot different than getting a cat butt on camera. So we can leave off then with this part of the adventure. Several, not even several weeks per se, because a couple more mini sessions. So about 2 weeks or so have passed. Norallie, I mean, you still have your 2 uses of your contacts. Bright, you still have your resources. That would include, I mean, you gave information to the private investigator. She's not in the business of breaking down the doors of drug dens or anything like that, but she is in the business of knowing what's happening around town, and if that can help her business. She's pleased with your performance, because you had initially got that 15 overall over the course of this investigation, and so if you still wish to come back, then she may still have more work for you. She says regretfully, because she never wants to. This is a job where you hope no one ever needs your services, and she's certainly had her fair share of heartbreaking tales as well.
Well, I'm okay with breaking down doors to drug dens when it's necessary. Although I usually will try to talk my way in first. But uh, yeah, I'll definitely take another job. Week, because I know we need to get over to the other half of the game.
Okay.
I
Then
also need to talk to Dallas, so maybe I can take like a couple days off from working for her, and go talk to Dallas first, and then come back and do this again.
okay, yeah, you do have him for another like a week or so.
Yeah, I really want to talk to him while I can. I mean, I didn't come all the way here to become a private investigator, although it's a fun side job for sure. I just him when there's time.
All right. Then we will leave off at that for the two of you, as you're continuing your investigations, your research, your downtime here in Mask of Horns, not Horn of Masks. You have Mr. Halver for another period of time, and you have the resources that you've been able to foster in regards to the investigations that you've made and the insights. Norallie, I mean, if you go back out even to the same person on the pier, maybe he has new info, or you can try tapping someone else who might have a different take as well. So let me know in between playtimes some of the things that you would like to do over the course of time, as there's still been no contact with the other part of the group. They haven't exactly arrived on your doorstep, so we can presume that they're either still dead or otherwise missing, and you are going to continue on in the fashion that you have. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then for all of you out there, let's get up and stretch our legs. Let's take about a 10-minute break or so. I have 1:13 a.m. my local time, so I guess we can just round it and make a nice even 1:25. And when we come back at 1:25, then we will head out to the deserts of Aslandia and
I'm going to bed.
see what happens. So yeah, and you have to get to bed, Dark Wolf. So
Yeah, let me know what happens.
no, it's fine. Y'all got to do what you got to do. It's I'm not sore at you. All right, so 12-minute break, and we're back. See you then.